What's up guys, Rogue9 here, and today I want to talk to you about a little promise that was made to the Rainbow Six Siege community at the beginning of the Blood Orchid season. A promise that, as you can probably guess since I'm making a video on it, didn't last all that long. So this video is going to be about the weapon damage drop-off standardization and how it seems to have only lasted one season. Let's go! Quick reminder, my Year 3 Season Pass giveaway is still running. New way to gain 3 bonus entries recently added, link in the description below to get involved. And now, for those of you who don't read and memorize the patch notes religiously, let me start out with a quick recap of what we were told just one season ago. Weapon fall-off damage redesign. Or maybe they meant weapon damage fall-off redesign. Our old damage model had several inconsistencies, which has made it hard for players to understand where each weapon loses damage efficiency. With the new model in Year 2 Season 3, we have tried to keep the weapon balance intact while setting hard values for where the damage fall-off begins and where it ends per weapon category. With Season 3, we have standardized the fall-off value across all weapons classes except for the shotguns and the sold sniper rifle for glass. We believe this will help everyone have a better understanding of when their weapon loses efficiency. So now we have standardized drop-off ranges that are long for DMRs and LMGs, 25 to 40 meters, slightly less long for assault rifles, 25 to 35 meters, medium for SMGs and machine pistols, 18 to 28 meters, and relatively short for pistols, 12 to 22 meters. The patch notes go on to explain, "We hope this will improve the player's understanding of weapon efficiency. Of course, we will be closely looking at that statistics to make sure that our game balance remains the same." I personally loved this change, not only for the reasons given in the statement, making it easier for players to understand the strengths and weaknesses of each gun category, but also because it finally made it viable for me to create a comprehensive damage drop-off spreadsheet, link in the description below. As some of you may already know, I have recently updated the sheet with the gun changes and additions for the White Noise season, and lo and behold, half of the new guns no longer fit into this standardization pattern. The SMG-12, the C75 Auto, and the M762 are the only new guns that behave according to their class. Okay, I guess the BOSG .12.2 is a shotgun, and they were never standardized, and in addition to that, it is a completely new and unique gun, so fair enough, its 11 to 19 meter drop-off range is acceptable too. Somewhat more controversial is Vigil's K1A. In the game, this gun is modeled as an SMG, with drop-off between 18 and 28 meters, but I personally would disagree with this approach. The definition of a submachine gun is a magazine-fed, fully automatic carbine designed to fire pistol cartridges. And since the K1A is chambered in 223 Remington, it should technically be classified as a carbine assault rifle, just like Jaeger's 416C carbine. And just like Jaeger's gun, I would have expected it to benefit from the damage drop-off advantage of the assault rifles instead of being grouped in with the SMGs. And the only reason I refer to this case as controversial instead of outright wrong is that the South Korean military, as well as S&T Motive, the current manufacturer of the gun, both refer to the K1A as a submachine gun. So I guess it can be argued that Ubisoft throwing this weapon in with the SMGs is acceptable, although I was truly surprised and disappointed to see the K1A underperform the 416C by as much as it does. And really, since it fires an intermediate rifle cartridge, it should share the drop-off characteristics with the assault rifles, but that's just my opinion. And that is where I draw the line. Zofia's LMG-E clearly belongs into the LMG DMR class in terms of its drop-off, but for some reason it has been included in the assault rifles instead. Sure, it only fires the relatively small 5.56x45mm rifle cartridge, but so do Capitao's M249 and Ying's T95 LSW, and both of those guns get the longer damage drop-off ranges, so why not the LMG-E? And it's not as if adding those 5 extra meters until the damage curve bottoms out would have made that much of a difference. The LMG-E is right down there with the worst LMGs in the game, and there would have been no risk of making this gun OP by adding that tiny bit of extra range. Okay, its fire rate is above average, but the jerky recoil combined with the weakest damage per shot, both at close range and long range, make this a horrible gun in my eyes, and it in no way competes with Zofia's alternative alternative choice, the M762. So why make this gun even less viable by classing it as a rifle? I just don't know. And then of course we have Dokeby's Mk14 EBR or Enhanced Battle Rifle. This weapon is clearly a designated marksman rifle and it belongs in the same damage drop-off class as the rest of the DMRs. I'm not saying that the Mk14 is poorly balanced or underpowered, even though its baseline damage stat of 60 points might make it seem so. Out of the 4 DMRs in the game, alongside the SR25, Kammers and 417, the Mk14 actually has the highest minimum damage of 51 points, making it a 2-shot to down weapon against 3-speed operators at all ranges, so it actually becomes the most powerful DMR from 37 meters and onwards. Still, the reason presented by Ubisoft for going through the exercise of standardizing all of the damage drop-off curves was to make it easier for us to be able to differentiate the performance of the different weapon classes, and I just don't understand why only 1 season later these new rules have simply been ignored. And you know me, whenever I discover something in Rainbow Six Siege that doesn't seem quite right, I reach out to Ubisoft directly to make them aware of what I've found out, and I do this before covering the issue in a video. Normally, I get a friendly email thanking me for highlighting the issue and assuring me that it will be passed on to the development team, but not this time. I did receive a very friendly email response from a customer support representative, but there was one part of the message that somewhat triggered me. We love hearing ideas directly from gamers and appreciate the support from fans like you, although we cannot accept or consider creative ideas from outside the company for legal reasons, but we definitely still want your feedback. And then he went on to direct me towards the Ubisoft forums where the community managers would be happy to listen to my suggestions. Fans like me, creative suggestions? Does he know who I am? Wait, that sounds a bit arrogant. No, you know what? I'm leaving it in. I've spent 2 years covering this game in depth, and I am not just some fan offering a creative suggestion. When I take the time to write a detailed bug report highlighting that promises of standardization were made at the beginning of Blood Orchid, and that half of the new guns in White Noise do not follow these rules, then I'm not making a creative suggestion. Something has gone wrong here, and all I'm trying to do is make you guys aware of it. Okay. Do these errors impact the day-to-day playing of the game? No, probably not. Will players even notice these errors? Again, probably not. Are there more pressing issues, like for instance a couple of weeks back the Jaeger shield glitched? Yes, 100%. Fine, these inconsistencies practically don't even matter, and yet if you're going to tell us that the standardization is being introduced to help clarify the performance of each gun class, then why not stick to it? And since I spend a considerable amount of my time testing exactly these details in the game, I would really like to see that standardization adhered to. Hashtag standard drop-off, please. And while we're at it, hashtag what even is mobility, because 50 still makes no sense. What are your thoughts on the drop-off standardization issue? Do you feel as betrayed as I do? Leave your thoughts in the comments section below and do check out that giveaway link if you want to take part. And with that, as always, I hope you enjoyed the video and I will see you in the next episode. Fans like me? Excuse me, I spat a little bit there. Okay, let's try that again. Fans like me, creative suggestions.